Most men spend years trying to figure out the wrong thing. They study what to say. They study when to text. They study how to act. And still, nothing sticks. She talks to them for a while. Then slowly goes quiet. Then disappears completely. And they never understand why. But here is what nobody is telling them. Obsession in a woman is not something you create by doing more. It is something that happens when you become more. And there is a massive difference between those two things. In this video, I'm going to show you what actually moves a woman emotionally, not on the surface, but in the deep part of her mind that she does not even fully understand herself. We are going to talk about the real reasons a woman cannot stop thinking about a specific man. Why she chooses him over men who do more. Why she holds on to him even when logic tells her to let go. Why some men are unforgettable, and most are not. If you stay until the end, you will walk away with something that most men spend a lifetime searching for and never find. Let's get into it. Here is the first thing you need to understand. A woman does not become obsessed with a man because he tried harder than the others. She becomes obsessed with a man who made her feel something the others could not. And that is not the same thing. Most men believe that effort equals value. So they do more. They text more. They plan more. They give more. And what happens? She becomes comfortable. She becomes casual. And eventually, she becomes distant. Not because she is ungrateful, but because effort without substance creates a very specific feeling in a woman, and that feeling is not attraction. It is pressure. When a man chases too hard, too fast, too much, a woman does not feel wanted. She feels hunted. And something inside her quietly pulls away. Now compare that to a man who is not performing for her. A man who is not adjusting himself to keep her happy. A man who is simply living, with direction, with energy, with something real going on inside him. That kind of man pulls her in without even trying. Because she is not responding to his effort. She is responding to who he is. And that is where obsession actually begins. There is a quality that women are drawn to that most men completely overlook. It is not looks. It is not money. It is not confidence in the social media sense of the word. It is self-possession. A man who owns himself. A man who does not need her reaction to feel okay. A man who does not shift his personality based on her mood. A man who does not disappear into her world the moment she shows him attention. Women call this mysterious sometimes. They say, I can't figure him out. They say, there's something about him. But what they are actually feeling is the presence of a man who has not handed her the remote control to his emotions. And that is rare. Because most men, the moment a woman shows interest, immediately start performing. They want to impress her. They want to hold her attention. They start becoming whoever they think she wants. And in doing that, they lose the very thing that attracted her in the first place. The man who is still standing in his own identity, who has not bent himself into something smaller just to keep her close, that man stays interesting. She cannot predict him. She cannot control him. She cannot put him in a box. And the mind obsesses over what it cannot fully solve. A woman thinks about the man who keeps her a little off balance. Not because he is playing games, but because he is genuinely not available to be figured out in a single conversation. His depth is real. His direction is real. His world exists outside of her. And she wants in. Now here is where it gets deeper. Even if a woman respects a man, even if she finds him attractive, interesting, admirable, there is still a level of attachment that only forms through emotional memory. Emotional memory is not what she thinks about him. It is what she felt around him. The difference between a man a woman moves on from quickly and a man she cannot get out of her head is almost always this. One gave her something to think about. The other gave her something to feel. And feelings are stored differently in the brain than thoughts. Thoughts fade. Feelings linger. When a man is fully present with a woman, not distracted, not performing, not anxious, when he is genuinely there in a conversation, she feels something that is difficult to replicate. She feels seen. Not flattered. Not complimented. Actually seen. And that is an experience most women go years without finding. So when she finds it, even once, her mind holds onto it. She replays the conversation. She replays how she felt. She replays the moment she realized this man was different. That is emotional memory. That is the invisible chain that pulls her back even when she tells herself to move on. And it cannot be faked. It cannot be scripted. It can only come from a man who is genuinely present, genuinely grounded, and genuinely connected to himself. That is the man she cannot stop thinking about. Here is something that confuses a lot of men. Sometimes a woman will walk away from someone who looks perfect on paper, and hold on to a man who makes no logical sense. And people around her say, "What does she see in him?" But the answer is simple. She does not make this decision with logic. She makes it with feeling. And the man who made her feel something real, even if he was not the tallest, the richest, the most polished, will always have a stronger hold on her than the man who only looked good from the outside. This is why becoming a better man on paper is not enough. You can have the career. You can have the apartment. You can have the social status. But if your inner world is still anxious, still needy, still looking to her for your sense of worth, she feels it. She may not say it. She may not even fully understand it. But she feels it. And that feeling, that sense that something is slightly off, keeps her from going all in. Now flip that. A man who is still building, who does not have everything figured out, but who moves through life with calm, with intention, with an unshakable sense of who he is. That man does something to her. She roots for him. She thinks about him when he is not around. She finds herself wanting to be part of whatever he is building. Not because he convinced her to, but because something in her recognized something in him. That recognition, that quiet knowing, is where real obsession lives. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It just grows. Slowly. Quietly. Until one day she realizes she cannot imagine her life without him in it. So let me bring this all together. A woman does not become obsessed with a man because he said the right thing at the right time. She becomes obsessed with a man who gave her something real to hold on to. A man who was already whole before she arrived. A man who stayed himself even when she was watching. A man who made her feel something that other men never reached. A man whose presence created emotional memory that her mind could not let go of. That is the answer. Not a trick. Not a technique. Not a script. A man. A real one. And if you are still becoming that, good. That is the right direction. Keep going. If this video gave you something to think about, hit the like button. It helps more men find this content. Subscribe if you want to go deeper into this. And next video, we are talking about something even most self-aware men get completely wrong. Why the men women choose are not always the men they say they want. That one is going to shift how you see everything. See you there.